So good evening. We're here today with Suchart. Longpor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So a brief introduction. Longpor Suchart Abhijato was born in Thailand in 1947 and received a Bachelor's of Science degree in Civil Engineering from California State University before returning to Thailand to manage a small business in Pattaya. Receiving a copy of a Dharma book from Sri Lanka from a tourist, he realized the importance of meditation and wrote to the BPS requesting more. He received from them a copy of the Satipatthana Sutta, which he then chanted and practiced diligently. Leaving his job in 1974 to meditate full-time, he was ordained at Wat Bowan by Sumdet Yan himself in 1975 thanks to the help of Bhikkhu Khantipalo, before traveling to Wat Bantad, where he would train under Luang Ta Maha Bua for the next 9 years. For his 10th reigns, Longpor Suchart came back to Pattaya, where he remained ever since. You can find his teachings and more at prasuchart.com. And Longpor has been a consistent teacher and guide to both Ajahn Kovilo and myself, and it's a real honor to have you on the channel again and be with the community, Longpor.
It's my honor.
Longpor, we were hoping to ask you today about stream entry, the first stage of awakening. And we wondered first if you would just define stream entry for us. What is Sotāpanna?
Well, like the translation, the word sota means stream. I think panna means enterer, someone who has entered the stream. And this stream is the stream leading you to Nibbana. So once you get into the stream, you will not go anywhere else but Nibbana. It's only a matter of time, how long you will get there. Some people might get there in one lifetime, some people might take 7 lifetimes at the most to eventually get to Nibbana. But I think for most people, if there's nothing that suddenly stops their life, most of them will probably achieve it in this lifetime. Once they have entered the stream, it will be almost, easy to go to the next 3 stages, unless you don't have the time to do it. Like the Venerable Ananda, I think it was the stream entry when he was chosen by the Buddha to be his attendant. So he spent about 20 years or so attending to the Buddha's need, and he didn't have any time for his own practice. So he didn't achieve any higher level than that until after the Buddha passed away. Then the Buddha said, you will reach Nibbana in 3 months. And that's exactly what happened. Because he had no more obligation to look after the Buddha. So he had all the time for his own practice.
Tanajan, so at the time of the Buddha, you had the Buddha who could say if someone had attained stream entry, had attained Sotāpanna or not. And these days, it's not always so clear. You don't have a Kruba Ajahn or someone who can see with a divine eye and say for sure who's attained stream entry and who hasn't. How common is it or uncommon that someone will have attained stream entry these days?
Well, it's difficult to gauge because we didn't keep any statistics. We didn't go and interview all the monks. Have you reached what stage of enlightenment? So it's not really relevant or important to know this thing. What's important is to know whether you are attaining or not. I think that's more important. So don't worry about other monks, other people, whether they attain or not attain. You should worry about yourself, because you're the most important person to yourself. And it doesn't make any difference if other people became enlightened and you're not. So it's better that you become enlightened, and it doesn't matter how many other people become enlightened or not.
Will it be absolutely certain if will one know for sure when one has attained stream entry? I've just heard stories about students or people who practice and they think, oh, I'm a stream entrer. And then they go to a teacher and the teacher says, no, actually, you're nowhere close. How can someone be sure if they're a stream enterer or not?
Well, basically, you have to be able to face death and pain without any qualm. You have investigated the five khandhas. The body is the rupa khandha and vedana is the nama khandhas. And you see that they are anicca, they're changing. And you see them as being anatta, not under your control. You cannot stop the body from getting old, getting sick, or die. You cannot stop vedana, painful feeling to arise, should they arise. The only thing you can do is to accept them, and live with them, not be afraid of them. So, in order to prevent you from getting any suffering, if you accept, then there will be no suffering. If you don't accept, you try to manage it, you'll get suffering. So Sotāpanna finally see the truth, see the choices. There are only two choices. Whether suffer, you don't suffer. If you don't want to suffer, you accept death, you accept pain. Don't try to get rid of them. Let them come and go as they like. Because they are anatta. They are natural phenomena. They are not under your control. So the only thing you can control is your suffering or your dukkha. By stop your craving, stop your attachment to the body and painful feeling.
Luang Por, there's a few similes given for stream entry in the suttas. There's the Buddha saying that a stream enter has a mind like a lightning flash, where you've seen for a second, I think, nibbana, and then it's become dark again. And then he compares the mind of an arahant to a diamond. There's also the simile of a person who sees water at the bottom of a well, but can't yet get to it. So there is this idea of the vision of the deathless, that you've touched it once at stream entry, and maybe even that this is what cuts those first three fetters. What is the experience of stream entry actually supposed to be like? I mean, is it just seeing deeply the impermanence of the five khandhas, or is there this vision of the deathless as well?
You have to come to face with a life or death situation, and you will find whether you pass this or not. If you let go, your mind will be peaceful and calm. If you don't, your mind will become very fearful, very restless, agitated. So you can see the difference between giving up and clinging to your body. Same way with painful feeling. When you come face to face with painful feeling, if you let it be, your mind become peaceful and calm. If you want to get rid of it or want to run away from it and you can't, then you will become stressful.
And this glimpse of the deathless, or this glimpse of the asankata, that which is unconditioned, is it like something visual? Is it something that the stream enterer at that moment will just feel with their whole body, know the full truth of the Dhamma, or what does that mean to see the deathless?
As far as the Sotāpanna, he sees death and he accepts death.
Death. Mm.
Of the body. Maybe he sees the mind becoming deathless. The mind itself doesn't die with the body. The one who knows is a knowing element, and it knows that it has no longer have any attachment to the body, which is made up of the four elements. So maybe he sees which thing lasts and which thing doesn't last. You see the body as being impermanent.
I've heard the body and the breakthrough of that khandha pointed to as one common doorway to Sotāpanna, to stream entry. So it's interesting to hear you talk about how letting go of it's so key. And it seems like you're saying there's two ways that often can happen. One is really confronting, being pushed into a life or death situation where you actually have to confront and let go. And perhaps also body contemplation and seeing with insight and deep samadhi through the body and not attaching to it is also a route. Is that a valid way of talking about it? Is the body, is that one of the key doorways to stream entry, often letting go of it?
I think the key one is the suffering that you face when you deal with the body and the painful feeling. So it has to be experiential. You have to have dukkha first, and then you will use wisdom to investigate the cause of your dukkha. And you find your craving for being, craving for the body to continue, not to die. And this is the cause of your suffering. And you then have to look at the nature of the body. Is it permanent or impermanent? Can you keep it going forever? And the answer is no. It's going to end one day. Maybe now, So if you don't accept this truth, you will have suffering because you crave for life and not death, not accepting death. But if you accept death, because this is the truth of the body, then there will be no craving for being, for the body to continue to live. So when you stop the craving for the body to continue to live on, then the suffering that is created by your craving will disappear. Then your mind will become peaceful and just normal, as if nothing had happened.
Ajahn, there are three main fetters which people think about when they think about stream entry: the fetter of doubt, the fetter of attachment to rites and rituals, and the fetter of personality view. And there are other things which mark stream entry, and I think we hope to ask about each of these. But I'm curious, just with that first of vicikicca, or doubt, what is the doubt that the stream enterer has completely eradicated? What do they see clearly now?
They see the triple gem. They see the Buddha, they see the Dhamma, and they see the Sangha, the noble disciple, which is himself. See, when you have dealt with the first feather, the sakkāya-diṭṭhi, and you apply the teaching of the Buddha to deal with it, the Four Noble Truths. So then there's no doubt that the Four Noble Truth is true. The teaching of the Buddha is true. And so if the teaching is true, then the one who teaches this Dhamma is also true, real, not something created by imagination. And the one who see the Dhamma, see the Buddha, is the Sangha, the one who practice well, supatipanno, uchupatipanno, yaya patipanno, samiti patipanno. So the one who sees the Buddha, the Dhamma, and Sangha becomes a noble disciple, become a Sotāpanna.
Mm-hmm.
So he has no doubt about the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Because he sees the truth of the Four Noble Truths, and he applies it correctly in dealing with the stress or suffering that the mind had created by its own craving. So there's no doubt in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Okay.
Or what doubts will still remain at that point?
No more doubt, because that's the only doubt that we have, whether the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha is true or not. whether his teaching can deliver us to Nibbana or not, can eliminate all the stresses that we have or not. Once you have applied the Four Noble Truths and you see the stress that had been built up by your own cravings, and once you realize that your own craving is the one that creates the stress and you stop your craving, then the stress disappears. So you see the Dhamma. You see the Four Noble Truths clearly through experience, not by reading or by imagining or contemplation. This is not real, because you don't have dukkha at that moment. But when you have dukkha that's caused by the approaching death or the extreme pain that you have to face, then this is real. You see the dukkha, and you can get rid of this dukkha because you see that the cause of this dukkha is your own craving for the body to continue to exist, or craving for the pain to disappear. But you cannot do this because this is anatta. So the only thing you can do is to change your mind, rather than trying to let the body to continue to live. Let it be. If it's gonna die, let it die. Let the pain be. If the pain wants to remain, let it remain. Then you stop your cravings, and when the craving stops, then the stress or the suffering stops. Then you have nirodha. At that point, the cessation of suffering at that stage of practice. Not completely all the nirodha. There's the nirodha of the Sotāpanna.
Luang, to push that articulation to its apex, Luang Ta Maha Bua, who was your teacher, speaks in his biography about the moment when he completely broke through avijja, or ignorance, and I think he talks about it as a kernel of light, which is mesmerizing and which seems like the ultimate, but then the moment when he completely let go of craving even for that, he says that it was nothing compared to what he eventually came to. So obviously Nirodha isn't nothing. Nibbana isn't nothing.
No, it's supreme happiness. It's bliss, supreme bliss. Paramang sukham, Nibbanang paramang sukham. The mind has finally achieved the highest form of happiness by giving up everything. Even the mind, the most fabulous state of mind, because that most fabulous state of mind is also anicca and anatta. If you cling to it, then you can get dukkha when that state of mind changes.
Did Luang Ta Maha Bua speak about that ultimate happiness in any other ways? Is there anything else he conveyed about it when he spoke?
I can't remember really. I just say it's the supreme happiness, supreme bliss. Nibbanang paramang sukham. Nibbanang paramang sunyam. Sunyam means empty of suffering. The mind doesn't disappear when you get to Nibbana. The mind is still there. But what disappears are all the suffering, samsara. We will no longer be with that mind anymore, because that mind doesn't take up rebirth anymore. So it doesn't have anything to do with samsara.
Ajahn, in terms of the fetters that prohibit one from seeing that, you mentioned sakkāya-diṭṭhi. This is one of the other three main fetters cut at stream entry. How do you translate sakkāya-diṭṭhi in English, and what is the view that stream enters have given up?
Wrong view that the body is you, that it is permanent, that it can give you happiness. It's the other way. The body is not you. the body is temporary, and the body cannot give you permanent happiness. One day it will give you dukkha when it gets old, gets sick, and die. So you have to see that the body is temporarily anicca, dukkha, anatta, as well as the feeling, vedana, is also anicca, dukkha, anatta. Sometimes you have pleasant feeling, sometimes you have a painful feeling. Sometimes you have neither painful, neither pleasant feeling. And they keep changing due to condition that cause them to come. And this condition also changing. So the feeling keep changing. Like when you before a meal you have hunger, you feel painful feeling from hunger. But when you took the food until you become full, then the painful feeling changed to pleasant feeling. And then when you're not hungry or when you're not full, then you have neither pleasant or painful feeling. You have neutral feeling. And this thing keeps changing due to the condition of that cause them to appear and disappear. Our the sensual objects that we come into contact with, they keep changing also. What you see, what you hear, what the body feel, contact with, the temperature, the heat, the humidity, the cold, and so forth. This keep creating different types of feeling. Our delusion wants to manage this thing and make everything always pleasant feeling. We want to maintain pleasant feeling only, and we want to prevent unpleasant feeling to arise, or even sometimes neither pleasant or not no unpleasant feeling. We also don't like that because they are dull. We only want pleasant feeling, but we cannot manage these things. Everything is beyond your control. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control what you see, what you hear. So you always end up with dukkha because you want to control, you want to change, and this is craving. And when you have craving, you're creating stress in your mind right away. But if you understand the nature that things keep changing, the feeling keep changing from pleasant to unpleasant to neutral, you just keep continue changing due to the condition that caused them to change. They also change. So the only thing you can do if you don't want to have any stress is to accept the change, accept the uncontrollable nature of things, and don't try to control them. Let them come and go as they like your body or your feeling. Then when you let go, you don't want to have, then you are not creating any stress because you don't have anyone to control or change anything anymore. You're accepting as they are. In the I think inside meditation they say seeing things as they are, but I say accepting things as they are. Same thing. You have to accept things as they are. Then you're not creating any craving to change anything. And when you're not creating any craving, then you're not creating any stress. Your mind can live with pleasant feeling. You can live with unpleasant feeling. You can live with neutral feeling. Because you cannot control them. They are our anatta.
Tanajam, sometimes people in the West will translate sakkāya-diṭṭhi as personality view. What do you think about that translation? Is some element of believing in one's personality cut at stream entry?
You think the body is you, and you is a person. Self-view, sometimes they translate as self-view.
Right.
Atta, not anatta. That's why the Buddha had to use anatta, the opposite of atta. No self. The body is like a tree. Is there a self in a tree or not? Can you call the tree a self? Is there a person in the tree or not? There's no person in a tree. The body and the tree is made up from the same element, the four elements. And the four element has no self either, right? The water element has no self. The wind element, the earth element, the fire element have no self. So when they form, how can they form a self from this no self? It's a delusion of the mind. The mind is the possessor or the user of the body. Even the tree, once the mind takes control on the tree, it becomes your tree, my tree, right? This is the delusion of the mind. Whenever it has anything, it wants to own them and claim them to be you or your own. This is me or myself. But in fact, nothing is you. Everything is just made up of the four elements. The world that we live in all come from the four elements. The fifth element is the mind that come and possess the body and use the body as the medium to access all the sensual objects in this world. And all the sensual objects are also made from the four elements.
Lumpur, in terms of the transience of Vedana feeling, one aspect of a Sotāpanna, and speaking specifically to painful feeling, one quality of a Sotāpanna is that they're said to never fall to the lower realms, hell, animal, anything below the human. Why is that?
Because he can take the pain, see, so he doesn't have to do anything. For people who cannot take the pain, sometimes they have to commit a crime, or kill somebody, steal some money. If you're very hungry and you have no food to eat, you have a very painful feeling. And you want to get rid of that painful feeling by getting some food. And the way to get some food is to go steal some food. But the Sotāpanna also see the effect on the mind when the mind commits bad karma. It creates suffering in the mind. And this suffering will be translated into the four
Anantariya?
The undesirable realm of existence. Being born as an animal or being
Apāya.
hungry ghost, being apāya. These are created by the bad karma. You can see this because as soon as you do a bad karma, you're creating stress, you're creating dukkha right in your mind. And this dukkha will become apāya when you die.
It's interesting you bring that up, Lumpur. In the review knowledges in Majjhima Nikaya 48, it says one quality of a stream enterer is that just like an infant would draw its hand or foot back from a flame, even so, though a monastic has committed a minor offense, he immediately confesses it. So the sense of sensitivity to virtue or non-virtue rather, and the idea that a Sotāpanna, I believe the word has virtue dear to the noble ones. So what is a Sotāpanna's virtue like? Will there just be an increased sensitivity to all evil, and would that continue into a subsequent life? Would a child who attained stream entry in a previous life be different than a normal child?
Well, he will be different because he's a noble disciple. He's a Sotāpanna. When the body dies, the mind doesn't change with the body, with the death of the body. Whatever the mind has accumulated or achieved will remain with the mind. So once you become a Sotāpanna, this is permanent. I mean, you don't go down, you don't go back below a Sotāpanna. You can only go up as you increase your practice and getting rid more of the fetters. And eventually you reach the higher stage of enlightenment.
And would such a Sotāpanna, would it be possible for them to drink a bit of alcohol ever? I know it says that they don't keep, it's virtue dear to the noble ones, so it seems like they don't keep the 5 precepts perfectly, impeccably, but maybe they do, actually. What is the virtue of a noble one, of a Sotāpanna like?
Well, see, drinking alcohol actually isn't considered an action that will contribute you to to be reborn in the undesirable realm. It's only the other four: killing, stealing, committing sexual misconduct, and lying. But drinking alcohol will cause you to become mindless or reckless, having no mindfulness to control your action. So this can lead you to do the other four. So it's called apāya mukha.
Ajahn, we're talking about sila, or about morality, and the third of those fetters which are cut is sīlabbata-parāmāsa, which is the attachment to sila and rituals, the attachment to rites and rituals. How do you translate that term, sīlabbata-parāmāsa, and how does a stream enterer relate to morality if they don't paramasa, if they don't hold on to it? What is a stream
I
enterer?
think Luang Ta Maha Bua have translated this as being doubtful of the importance of keeping the sila. As an enlightened person, you're still doubtful whether, like you say, you asked me about drinking a little bit alcohol, or maybe lying a little bit, saying some white lie, or steal some money, or do some mercy killing. This is all considered bad action. Why? Because when you do this thing, if you are Sotāpanna, you can see the effect in your mind immediately. Whenever you break the precept, the mind become unhappy, become irritated. It has dukkha. Let's put it that way. And he understands that the more you do this bad karma, this dukkha will accumulate in your mind, and this will contribute to your taking birth in the undesirable realm of existence. So Sotāpanna doesn't break any precept. From the first level to the highest level, the four, all of them keep the precept perfectly all the time. And they don't do any rituals to get rid of their suffering. Like when you have unhealable illness, so you might want to go and do some ritual. Maybe that will help you get rid of your illness. This Sotāpanna would not do, because it doesn't change anything. Death will come anyway, regardless of what kind of ritual you do. Kill some lamb or kill some chicken to appease the gods or something. Like in ancient time, people believe that when you have some bad situation and you want to make it go away, you went to see a fortune teller, and he said, "Oh, you have to kill a few chicken to appease the god that caused you to have the bad situation." For the Sotāpanna, he understands that the bad situation is part of life. Our life constantly changing. We have good situation, we have bad situation, we have neutral situation, because everything that we live in keep changing all the time. So he understands, he accepts the ups and downs of life, and doesn't have to go do any ritual or do any bad karma to improve the life to be better. Even if you do that, it will also come down eventually, because life keeps going up and down, whether you do anything to it or not. Because you cannot always control and make your life always happier. Sometimes you have sadness, sometimes you have problem. But the best way to deal with it is just to accept it. Come back to the word accept. Accept reality as it is. If you have good situation, fine. If you don't have a good situation, that's also fine. Life goes on. The mind continues on regardless of what happens. The mind doesn't die. The mind just merely knows. If you become enlightened, then the mind will just merely know. It doesn't want to try to change anything, because it knows it's pointless, it's useless. You can change it today and it'll come back, it will change again tomorrow. So you keep going after things and keep trying to change them to your liking. But then tomorrow they change again. So you have to change. try to change them again. And when you could not change them, you become frustrated. You have dukkha. But if you just let things change and you're happy with them, with whatever it is, then you can always be happy.
Ajahn, so in the West, many people will learn that attachment to rites and rituals is a fetter or an obstacle to enlightenment. And then they think, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know, you have all these really righteous, self-righteous people, and I don't want to do any of that, so I just won't hold on to any rules. And they might think, oh, the mind is just luminous and there's no self, and they take up this crazy wisdom where they think, oh, I don't have to keep any rules. How is that a misunderstanding, if it is a misunderstanding, this crazy wisdom approach?
Well, it depends what kind of rules we're talking about. If you talk about the rules of virtue, of morality, then this stuff has effect on your mind, whether you believe or not. If you do bad karma, it's going to hurt your mind. Your mind is going to be sick. You're not going to be happy when you do bad karma. You might feel good at first when you break the law, but then the law is going to come after you. And you don't feel happy anymore. You feel worried, anxious. The law will come after you, and this is the cause of your suffering, your mental suffering. So better follow the morality law, the law of karma.
Longpor, what do you when you look out at all of us trying to manage everything, the ups and downs, and just this completely failing situation, what do you think?
Just tell them to let go, let things be. And tell them eventually we're all going to die. So what we do doesn't really matter so much. When we die, we cannot take anything with us anyway, right? We can only take good feeling or bad feeling with us when we die. Just go with us. Good karma or bad karma, the effect of good or bad karma will go with us when we die. Nothing else. We cannot take any money with us. We cannot take people with us. We cannot take anything with us. So try to do things that you can take with you, and you don't want to take the effect of bad karma with you because it hurts you. So the only thing you want to take with you is the effect of good karma. And there are 3 levels of good karma: dana, sila, and pāvana. This is what the Buddha said we all should do, to concentrate on, because the effect of this action will go with us into our next life, or lead us to the cessation of rebirth completely, leading us to Nibbana.
Longpor, what would you tell to someone living a lay life, struggling they hear you say this, and yet they have a job and kids and a family and obligations? What would you tell to someone like that who is trying to intuit the urgency of the situation as to how they should practice?
They should change their method of making themselves happy. Instead of using money to make them happy, they should try to use meditation instead. Because meditation doesn't cost any money, right? If you can be happy with meditation, then you don't have to spend a lot of work. You don't have to work for a lot of money. You don't have to spend a lot of money to make you happy. And the happiness you get from spending the money lasts only briefly, just a few days or even less. You spend lots of money to go on a vacation. After you return, all the happiness that you had from your vacation is all gone, and you're back to the same old stuff,
Ajahn, in terms of things that make us happy, there is one sutta which very interesting says that one other characteristic of a stream enter is that they do not experience ingratitude. So stream enters are they know gratitude. They're katanyu, katavedi.
Yes.
They're grateful and thankful. What does the gratitude of a stream enterer look like, and what does that mean, that a stream enterer cannot experience ingratitude?
Well, gratitude is like if you feel that you're being helped by someone did you a favor, and one day this person might need a favor in return. It's a good feeling to return that favor. It's a bad feeling not to return it if you cannot do it, or if you refuse to do it. So it's the same thing. It's the good feeling you get from being grateful to someone who did you something good for you, especially your parents. In Buddhism, we consider our gratitude to our parents is the most important thing because they gave us birth, they raised us, and they, supported us until we can support ourselves. Without them, we could not be here today, talking right now. So whenever they need help and you can do it, then you must do it. If you have gratitude, you'll be happy to do it. If you don't have gratitude, then you might find excuse. Oh, I'm too busy, or I don't have enough money, and so forth. Well, that's the business, But you don't get any good feeling from neglecting your duty. It's a duty. Being gratitude, having gratitude is a duty.
Luang Por, one of the things which draws people away from this path, and you spoke about kind of just the ups and downs of samsara. Right now, just on people's mind is news and the political situation, just the situation in the world. What would your advice be for people relating to external events and the news? What would you tell them about this?
Well, the world is like this, and the world continues to be like this. The world keep fighting, competing, having problem. This is the nature of this world, and no one can change it. So leave the world alone and try to manage your own world, your own mind better. Make your mind be happy with whatever the world is going on. With whatever's going on in the world. You cannot change the world. So it's easier to just to accept it.
John, in terms of that, I mean, you look at the news and it really is, you see like the hell realms on earth, the hell realms in war in Gaza and war in Ukraine and the hungry ghost realms of just fentanyl addiction and things. I'm curious about a stream enterer's view of samsara. Is it totally the case that when someone attains stream entry, that they know for sure that these are real, that hell is not just hell on earth, but there are whole other realms, that hungry ghosts are not just human hungry ghosts, but there are actually, shades, there are preta, there are peta. Does a stream enterer know that for sure? I think in the West there are teachers who say that they're stream enterers, but that, these realms are just psychological states. What does a stream enterer know about samsara?
They know because they know what this realm looks like. Because these realms are like dreamland. It's like when you go to sleep. Sometimes you have good dreams, sometimes you have bad dreams. But when you were dreaming, you didn't know that you were dreaming, right? You really actually think it was real, right? You only find out later on when you wake up. Oh, I had a bad dream. Oh, I had a good dream. That's what's going to happen after you die. You enter into the realm of dreams, dreamland. And the dreams are created by the good or bad karma. If you have good karma, it will create good dreams for you. Then we call this heaven. If you have more bad karma than good karma, then the bad karma will create dreams for you. So you will have bad dreams. You call it hell, or you can call it the realms of hungry ghosts, the realm of fearful ghosts, or the realm of animals. These are the consequences of your good or bad karma that will take effect immediately after you die. Or when you go to sleep, it's similar. When you go to sleep, you take a preview of what's going to happen to your future life after you die. If you have good dreams, it means you're going to go to heaven after you die, because you will continue to have good dreams after you die. If you have bad dreams, then it's telling you that after you die, you will continue to have these bad dreams until the power or the effect of this bad dream eventually expire. Then you return as a human again, reborn as a human again, and restarting the same process again all over again.
Tanajan, if I have a dream about Bangkok, then it's one thing, and then say when I wake up and I go to Bangkok, and it seems more real. Are dreams of hells or dreams of hungry ghost realms? Is there some reality outside of the dream? Just like there's a real Bangkok outside of my dreams about Bangkok.
There's no real. It's a virtual world, like what we're talking about, computer, and we have virtual world. This is the mind also is like a computer, and it's creating this virtual world through its good or bad karma.
But you're saying all worlds are virtual, including this one, correct, Longpor?
Well, this one has a physical aspect to it, in the body. But in the mind, it's still virtual. When the mind goes to sleep, it leaves the physical world temporarily and into the spiritual or virtual world. And then they have to face the consequence of their good or bad action. That will be creating the good dreams or bad dreams for them to experience.
Longpor, is one question I had was, if you had to give one practice or one or two practices especially key to the movement towards stream entry, like anapanasati or metta or body contemplation, anicca sanya, what would you tell to modern people? What's the kind of the linchpin that you find the most important one or two practices?
The most important practices is the practice of mindfulness. That's what the Buddha mentioned in the four foundations of mindfulness. First of all, start practicing mindfulness of breathing. When you go find a place, quiet place, sit down under the tree and watch your breathing, watch your breath. And try not to think about anything for as long as possible. If you cannot yet achieve success from your meditation, when you finish with your meditation, you should then, when you get out of meditation, you should continue with mindfulness practice by being mindful of your body movement, your body posture, your body activities. Keep control of your thought this way. See? If you pay attention to what you do, then you cannot go think about other things. And then after you're ready, then you come back and meditate again. This is what you should do first of all. These two things, meditation and mindfulness, alternatingly. When you're not meditating, you practice mindfulness. But actually, when you're meditating, you also practice mindfulness. But you have a specific mindfulness, which is mindfulness of breathing. But when you're not meditating, when you're not sitting, when you have to do work, you have to go on collecting food, you have to eat, you have to take a shower, then you have to be mindful of this activity. Then you will eventually increase more mindfulness as you go along. Then eventually you'll be able to achieve jhana from your meditation practice. Once you achieve jhana, you find that the experience from meditation, the result from meditation, is better than the result you get from getting anything from this world of sensual pleasure. Even if you can get 1 million baht or dollars, the reward is not as good as the result from your meditation. So then you know that this is the way to go, is to go into meditation whenever you feel the need to have some happiness, or when you want to run away from stresses or anxiety, then you use meditation rather than go to a pub or to a bar and have a drink, or go find somebody to have sex with. This is just a temporary measure. After you finish, the stress and anxiety comes back. But with meditation, you can have more longer duration of peace of mind, and then you can always meditate whenever you feel you have any stress. But this method is still not good enough, because this is a temporary measure. It's called samatha bhavana. We want to go to the next level, which is called vipassana bhavana. We want to develop wisdom, because with wisdom we can make the stress go away completely, permanently, without having to rely on meditation. By seeing that everything in this world is anicca, dukkha, anatta, and try to accept them. Don't try to change them. Don't try to manage them. Let them be. If you have equanimity from your meditation, you can accept things as they are. But if you don't have equanimity, you want to change things. So this is why you need to have samatha first before you can go to vipassana bhavana.
Ajahn, could a non-Buddhist attain stream entry? If they did everything you said, if they practiced breath meditation and they examine the body, could they attain stream entry?
If they could do it, then they have become a natural Buddhist. The Buddha wasn't a Buddhist before, right? The Buddha was just what you call an ascetic, practicing meditation. But he only reached the first level of meditation, which is samatha, and that's because that's all that everybody knows is the samatha level. No one knows the vipassana level. So the Buddha himself has to research and find the next level by himself. And when he eventually found the vipassana, he found the Four Noble Truths, he found the three characteristics of existence. So he became a Buddha, a Buddhist. A Buddha is a Buddhist. So it's now the name Buddhist is just a label. It's a label that means that we are following the teaching of a Buddha. So whoever you are, whether you have other religion or not, if you follow the teaching of the Buddha, you become a Buddhist naturally, without having to proclaim yourself, I'm a Buddhist. If you can practice charity, you can practice morality, and you can practice meditation, you are Buddhist, whether you like it or not.
Longpor, one sort of, when we speak about following the directions of a Buddha, and also about this path towards stream entry, something I'm just curious about is the Bodhisattva path, and the idea that if you say attain stream entry, you could no longer be on that path, and the idea, that it's even part of the path. What is your conception of the Bodhisattva path ideal, and what would you say about that path?
It's the same path. See, the difference is that with the Noble Eightfold Path, we already have someone who have reached Nibbana and then telling us how to get there directly. But with the 10 perfection, no one knows yet where this destination is. But we know that this 10 perfection will eventually lead us to that path, that destination. Like the Buddha, he practiced this 10 perfection. He depended on this 10 perfection to make him become a Buddha. Mm-hmm. But with us, we don't need to do all this 10 perfection. We just do the Noble Eightfold Path.
What would you say?
Because the Buddha already have found out that the path to Nibbana is the Noble Eightfold Path.
What would you say to someone who said that was selfish, that we should sort of, instead of aiming straight for awakening, and leaving samsara, we should develop the 10 pāramitās so that we can become a future Buddha. What would you say to that?
It's not selfish, it's being foolish, not to follow the Buddha's path, because it will take a longer time to establish the 10 perfections for you to become a Buddha. It might take eons of time, but with the following the Noble Eightfold Path, you can do it within this lifetime. And after you become enlightened, you can still teach to other people and help other people to reach Nibbana in this very lifetime. Like all the Ajahn have done. Ajahn, before he also had this, I think this Bodhisattva vow, but he realized this become a hindrance because he has to practice metta, in compassion and helping other people. So there's a conflict between helping other people and go meditating. So he decided, I have to go to meditate to become enlightened. So I have to stop helping other people for now. And I'll do it later after I become enlightened. So that's what he did. He spent 10 years alone in the forest of Chiang Mai, I think, in the north of Thailand. And he eventually became enlightened there. And then the next 10 years, he taught to his disciples, those who want to follow his teaching. And we have a lot of Ajahn that came from Ajahn teaching, who become enlightened through his teaching.
Ajahn, when we do reach stream entry, when we become a stream entry, what does the practice change, or is it just more of what we have been doing?
The only thing that changes is the object of your what you call the word, the object of your renunciation, or the object of your cravings change. The other fetters. You don't have to deal with the first three fetters already because you have got rid of them. But you still have another 7 remaining factors that you have to deal with. But you use the same method. You use the sila, samadhi, and panya to deal with this other, especially panya. With the Sotāpanna, you investigate the body as being anicca, anatta. But with the next 2 levels, you investigate the body as being asubha. Because the craving that you want to get rid of is the sexual craving. Yeah. And in order to get rid of the sexual craving, you have to see the body as unpleasant, not good looking. So you have to look at the other part under the skin of the body. See the skeleton, see the bones, see the lungs, see the liver, see the intestine, for instance. Or look at the body when it dies. If you see a beautiful woman and think if she dies tonight, would you still want to make love to her with her? You don't want to make love to a corpse, do you?
No.
What's the difference between a corpse and a living person? Just the breathing, that's all, right? But the body is still the same body. But it will start to decay and start to become smelly. So you don't want to have anything to do with a corpse. But we forget that we're dealing with corpse every time we're dealing with a body. It's only a living corpse, that's all. It's still living, it's still breathing. So we don't call it a corpse, we call it a body.
Luang, we realize we've taken about an hour of your time, which is what you had, but do you just have any final words of encouragement or thoughts for those listening and for us?
Well, basically, I think for most people, they read too much, they study too much. They know all the levels of enlightenment, and they want to get there as soon as possible. It's like starting going to school, but you want to get to the PhD level as soon as you enter kindergarten, which is not possible. You have to go through the steps. First, you have to go to kindergarten, then you have to go to the grade school, elementary, secondary, then you enter the university, and eventually get the various degrees. So this thing comes step by step, not suddenly. So right now, where are you? Are you still? Can you practice dana? Are you charitable or are you stingy? You still cling to your money or not? The purpose of giving to charity is to let go of your attachment to your possession, to your money. Because if you still attached, you will not be able to go and do meditation practice. You cannot become a monk if you have millions of dollars in your bank account. But if you give away that $1 million, then you can become a monk, and then you can go meditate. So you have to ask yourself, where are you now? And what level are you? Are you able to give up all your money, like the Buddha gave up his palace life and became a monk, or not? Before you can think about becoming a Sotāpanna or whatever, can you just give up your possession for now or not? It's all the practice. It's all about renunciation. It's all about giving up. If you want to reach Nibbana, you have to give up everything. Once you give up your wealth, then the next step is give up your physical comfort. Go live like a monk. Live simple and eat only once a day. Giving up your sensual pleasures. Then once you can do that, then you have to give up your body, give up your feeling, eventually giving up your emotion, your state of mind. These are the different level of giving up that you have to do. In the four foundation of mindfulness, you have to give up your body first, then you give up feeling, and then you give up the mental states before you can reach Nibbana. Because these are the hindrances or the thing that blocks you from getting to Nibbana. Your body, if you still attach your body, you cannot go to Nibbana. You cannot get to the first level of enlightenment if you still cling to body and feeling. If you still cling to your sexual desire, then you cannot go to the second or third level of enlightenment. And once you get to the fourth level, you have to give up even your attachment to meditation. Because meditation is also temporary. It can only give you temporary happiness, not permanent happiness.
Luang, you've been one of the beings who've consistently just I have such faith in and such a kind of luminary on my path, and that we look to constantly for inspiration. Just it means a lot that you took the time with us and to share your wisdom. Thank you so much.
Okay, I hope our conversation today is more or less informative and not confusing. I hope that's what I'm trying to say.
It was
maybe my English and my explanation sometimes might not be as clear as it should be.
Very, very informative. Thank you, Ajahn Kap. And
we'd invite you to Seattle, but I know that you, I believe you've been so focused.
I'm already there with you
exactly.
Right now. Why is the need to go physically when you can go? This is virtual world, right? This is dream world.
Thank you, Luang Ta.
As soon as we finish this meeting become a dream and a past experience already.
May we have many such dreams, Luang Ta.
Thank you.